One of the biggest mistakes that people make when they are trying to overcome SIBO is they'll straight away launch into a seek and destroy mission. And they're just wanting to kill the bacteria. But if you do this and nothing else, then sometimes you can just make things worse, and also you just delay your recovery. So there are some crucial first steps that you need to take before starting on an antimicrobial program, and I'm going to go through these now. My name is Carmela, and I'm a nutritional therapist, and I've been helping SIBO clients for the last decade. This is actually part 2 of a series I'm doing to help you step by step to overcome SIBO. And so if you didn't see part 1, which was about how to test for SIBO, I'll put the link below. So once you know you have SIBO, then there's little doubt that you have to use antimicrobials along with diet. There's no real effective way of doing it otherwise. But if you do just jump into using antimicrobials, then you do risk having a lot of systemic inflammation. You can sometimes end up with a lot more in the way of sensitivities, like new food sensitivities that keep appearing. So then you end up just not really knowing what to eat. And then sensitivities to supplements usually starts to crop up as well. And that's because you're experiencing a kind of die-off reaction. So I know it's really hard to have to put up with the symptoms, which I know are really quite debilitating. But trust me, it's really the best way is to do a proper preparatory phase before you go into the antimicrobial phase. So what exactly is a die-off reaction? This is sometimes called a Herxheimer reaction. And it's when you kill the bacteria, they will release certain toxins, and they're called lipopolysaccharides. And if you have a leaky gut, then this can enter the bloodstream, and that can make you feel really quite rubbish, and it can create that systemic inflammation I was talking about. So we can minimize this by doing a few things. So firstly, it's to heal a leaky gut, to make sure that those endotoxins are not entering the bloodstream. We need to support the liver, because the liver is going to be the organ that will be detoxifying all of those toxins and making them safe for elimination. So then we also have to support elimination, because there's got to be a way for all these waste products to leave your body. So the preparation phase involves 5 pillars, and I will mention these supplements in the description below, so you've got a bit more practical help. So pillar 1, and that is to heal a leaky gut. And we do this by using L-Glutamine, which is really the go-to supplement for healing leaky gut. Moving on to pillar number 2, and that is to have adequate liver support. And using a really good liver supplement, definitely one that contains glutathione, artichoke leaf, and milk thistle are really important ingredients, because those ingredients will support the detoxification process and also protect your liver and keep it nice and healthy. If you are particularly sensitive to supplements, then I would recommend just use one single ingredient, and that would be milk thistle. Then we have pillar number 3, which is the use of Epsom bath salts. And Epsom bath salts are actually just magnesium sulfate. But the sulfur and the magnesium together are just really fantastic at supporting the liver and helping it do its job. But also magnesium, as most people probably know, does an amazing job of supporting your nervous system. So if you're in that parasympathetic part of your nervous system, that's really essential, because then that's the part of the body where it's like, okay, right, now we can do our healing work. And so I would use 2 cups a day for 3 times a week, just 2 cups, either in a bath, or if you don't have a bath, use it in a foot bath. Then we have pillar number 4, and that is the use of B vitamins. And I would really recommend getting activated Bs, because those are much more readily available to the body to be able to use, and the body doesn't have to go through so many steps to be able to make use of those B vitamins. And B vitamins are an essential part of the whole detoxification process. They are absolutely essential ingredients, and they also support your nervous system as well to help you feel relaxed and also energetic. And also B vitamins tend to be really quite depleted when you have gut conditions, especially something like SIBO, because your ability to absorb minerals and vitamins can be compromised. So then the last pillar, pillar number 5, that is supporting the elimination pathways. And quite often when you have SIBO, you can have a lot of constipation. And that means that you're not eliminating toxins very well, and you run the risk of toxins being reabsorbed and recirculated in the body, which further puts on a toxic load on the liver. So what I use is a product called PHGG, and that's an insoluble fiber which is very well tolerated by people with SIBO or IBS. And that really helps to improve constipation, but it also feeds your microbiome, which is really very essential in correcting any digestive problems and improving that transit time. So as I mentioned before, you do need to combine diet with antimicrobials when overcoming SIBO. But during this preparation phase, I don't generally recommend using a very restrictive low FODMAP or SIBO diet, mainly because you end up being in the diet for way too long because you've still got to do antimicrobial work. And being on such a diet for so long means you just don't have the diversity of nutrients and you lack fiber. So it's not so good, and it actually impacts your gut flora, which is kind of contra to what you want to be achieving. So what I do with clients is that I will generally just reduce any triggering high FODMAP foods from their diet. So that's things like onions, garlic, beans in particular, those kind of foods that can be triggering. But otherwise, don't think about doing a restrictive diet until you get to your antimicrobial phase. So I know it does sound all really quite complex, but what I'll do is I will do a blog on my website that gives you a proper indication of what the whole protocol is. So it's a good idea to subscribe to my website, and I'll put the link below because then you'll get notifications of when that information has been published. And I know that constipation is a big issue for a lot of people, and it's quite hard to manage and overcome. So I'll do another video which deals exclusively with how to manage constipation and improve those elimination pathways. So how long would you want to do this kind of preparation phase? Usually I would say 2 to 3 weeks, but with most of my clients, it's possible to overlap the antimicrobial phase with the preparation phase. So we maybe do this kind of protocol for about a week, and then we can start introducing antimicrobials. And that usually works for most people. But if you're particularly sensitive and you find that you are quite reactive to lots of foods and supplements and other triggers, then that indicates that you do need to focus on this preparation kind of strengthening phase for a bit longer. So I would recommend 2 to 3 weeks before starting any antimicrobials. So the good thing about this preparatory protocol is that once you get onto antimicrobial phase and if you do start to experience any kind of die-off reactions or start to become very sensitive, then you can actually just pause your antimicrobials and just take a step back and do some more of this preparatory work just for a short while, and then test out the antimicrobials again. And usually you find that you can then tolerate the antimicrobials better. It's a little bit different if you're using antibiotics because they're on really quite a short course anyway. So you probably need to speak to your doctor about that. I do want to just emphasize, if you do experience die-off reactions, then I don't push through. I think that's what people think, that it's a healthy thing to do and it's part of the healing process. It isn't, and it's very important. It's just your body telling you that you're going too fast and it's not coping very well. So definitely stop, go back, do some preparation work, and then start again. Thank you very much for listening, and I really hope this helps. And please, if you can, like, subscribe and share, as that gives me a boost as well. Thank you.